God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good.
Good evening and welcome to The Experience. I'm your host, Steve Fox, and tonight's topic is Wicca, the Misunderstood Religion. And my guest, Heidi Couture, has been practicing Wicca for almost 12 years now. She's been studying the tarot for about 10 and has worked extensively with other forms of divination. Divination. See? I can do a show I just can't pronounce. As well as the healing energies. Heidi was initiated as a High Priestess back in '97 and is currently leading her own coven. She has done several interviews on Wicca for various media locations while active in her original coven in Salem, Mass. Heidi has her master's degree in communication and is also a professor of communications at Keene State College in Keene, New Hampshire. And is currently, she's in the formative stages of entering the PhD communication program at UMass Amherst. She's going to be a doctor. Dr. Couture. She is here tonight to dispel the myths surrounding witchcraft, the misunderstood religion. Heidi, thank you so much for being here.
You're
I
welcome.
should say that my mother's maiden name is Couture, but there is no. I'm sure there's no relationship.
Oh, we're
there.
all connected somehow.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I think if you were, I would know if you were related to me or not. And I would have found you I would have found you a long time ago, and it wouldn't have taken me this long to get you on my show.
Oh,
I would have been by all the time. Please do my show. It says you've been doing this for, well, you wrote this little intro because, I mean, after all the times we've spoken, I've still not been able to come up with something as clever as this. But you've been practicing for 12 years. What got you involved in this?
Well, I just started sort of like anyone would start on a new religious path. I was unsatisfied with the religion I was brought up with.
Which was?
Catholicism.
Okay.
And I liked, there were some things that I did like about Catholicism. Like I really liked the ritual of the Mass. Mm-hmm. But I didn't like, well, when I became sort of that 15-year-old, 16, 15 age, I realized that there really wasn't enough being offered to me through the church as a woman.
At that age?
At that age, but as a woman. And I really didn't understand the whole thing about why nuns couldn't become priests, and I didn't really see much female leadership in the Catholic Church, and that was a turnoff for me. Okay. So I just started reading and looking elsewhere, and I started with reincarnation. Actually, that's always been a belief system of mine, even when I was Catholic.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that came from. I've just always believed in reincarnation.
I know where it came from. It's the only thing that really makes sense. I mean, honestly, because I believe in that as well, and to me it just does not make sense for us to be here once on this planet in this humongous space for 50, 60, 70 years and live in the dirt for the next billions or so. It just doesn't make sense.
It's funny because I used to actually have conversations with my father about that, because at one point he believed that was it. Once you die, you're dead, and that's it. And I thought that was so depressing. Yeah. And so it is. There's
really no. What's going to happen? I'm not really afraid to die. I'll get to catch up on all that sleep I've been missing.
I'll make great plant food or whatever they used to say.
Wormwood.
But he changed his opinion since. But that's probably where a lot of it did come from. But I also remember an event when I was young in Catholic school, when we used to visit nursing homes a lot, you know, like on the holidays, and bring them little tissue paper made flowers. You remember doing that?
And they sell them now in the airports in New York. So.
But we were, you know, trying to bestow cheer and good things on these older people. And I remember thinking that they weren't depressed, you know, and they didn't, it sort of seemed like they knew something I didn't.
Right.
Or they had a faith that I didn't, in that they were going to be coming back.
Right.
You know, so that I remember as being one of the events that spawned the whole thing of reincarnation. But yeah, reincarnation, so I started with that. Read a lot of books on that, and then eventually I found myself to this little secondhand bookstore and found this little folksy witch book. And there were some interesting things in it, but there were some correct things in it that said, you know, basically the Wiccan Rede, which is do what you will and harm no one. Right. The nature aspects of Wicca, the fact that we don't worship Satan or even believe in a devil, that's purely Christian invention, and they sort of lumped it together with our horned god of nature. So once I found out that, you know, witches weren't Satanists and had nothing to do with Satan, then it sort of all became clear for me, and then that's when I really started on my path.